Thank you for joining today's Indeed Jobcast on navigating the job search and remote work during COVID-19. Before we begin, I'll cover a few housekeeping items. Firstly, you are in listen-only mode. You can hear us, but we can't hear you. And secondly, we are recording this webinar. You'll be able to view it on demand in a week or so on YouTube, and we will be sending along the link. To introduce myself, my name is Jay Munro, and as Indeed's Head of Career Insights, I lead our global efforts to address bias and barriers in hiring through product innovation, partnerships, and community engagement, working across Australia and New Zealand. To start, I want to take a moment to acknowledge that the current situation we're in is certainly not business as usual. Searching for a job is already challenging, but it's even more complicated, with both you and employers trying to take steps in the best interest of public health. It's important that you know you're not alone, and here at Indeed, we are here to help you. In this webinar, we're going to cover quite a lot, including how the coronavirus has impacted work and hiring, how to find work, how to stand out in a remote interview, and a few tips and best practices to make the most of working from home. So let's get started. As you know, coronavirus has impacted nearly every facet of life. And as we strive to protect ourselves and our communities, many people are concerned about how this will impact their work and the future of their careers. Now, I'm not an economist by any means, but from speaking to our own economist, Callum Pickering, who works with us at Indeed, he's shared that some sectors are basically shutting down and reducing, even laying off their workers, whilst other sectors are hiring more. And while all this is going on, the economic path as it stands today is still rather uncertain. In a recent study we conducted, the top concern people had related to COVID-19 was taking a financial hit, but others included caring for loved ones, contracting COVID-19 in the workplace, losing their job, spreading the virus in the workplace, maintaining their mental health, the challenges of working from home, and balancing childcare arrangements. But as we embrace new changes and shifts in our work culture and habits, many people are feeling overwhelmed. But there is some good news. Whether you're in the midst of a job search, navigating the temporary or permanent loss of work, or struggling to stay focused while working from home, there are several steps that you can take to potentially improve your outcomes. It is important to remember that your health and safety are the most important things. And it's easy to feel overwhelmed. But here are a few ways to take care of yourself and stay positive despite these circumstances. Firstly, remember what's most important, your health and the health of your loved ones. We are all adjusting, and it's important we prioritize our mental and physical well-being. Secondly, be patient with yourself, with employers, and with those around you as we all navigate these changes and determine the best next steps. Empower yourself to continue taking action when it comes to your job. And thirdly, small actions can make a big difference. For example, go for a walk, drink plenty of water, and make sure you're getting enough sleep. Doing so will help ensure that you can focus on your work or your job search. Now, that said, coronavirus has affected every industry and job type, at least to some degree. And currently we're seeing coronavirus impact work in three unique ways. Rapid spread of the coronavirus has led to the cancellation of events and conferences, and temporary closure of many retail stores, restaurants, bars, entertainment venues, gyms, hair salons, and many other public-facing businesses. And that's leaving many people temporarily out of work. Some businesses have chosen to freeze or slow hiring activity, which can be discouraging for those currently seeking a new opportunity. The good news here is that many employers are still actively hiring, but they're adapting their hiring practices to current needs. And we're seeing virtual interviews becoming a popular alternative to the in-person experience. And finally, in an effort to slow the spread of the virus, many employers have asked their employees to work from home. While this flexible work arrangement has plenty of benefits, it also presents a few challenges, especially for those not accustomed to working from home or those with busy households and shared living spaces. Now, if you've become temporarily or permanently unemployed due to business closure or any other reason, it's likely you need something you can start doing immediately and begin generating income quickly. But how can you find it? And what can you do to increase your chances of success? First, there is still plenty of demand for the type of frontline and essential workers needed. A number of companies across these industries have announced hiring plans to meet their demand and to help displaced workers. Supermarkets like Woolworths and Coles, pharmacies like Chemist Warehouse and Priceline, convenience stores such as 7-Eleven, there's plenty of online retailers, healthcare providers if you're qualified to work in a hospital, healthcare manufacturing like companies like GE, and additionally, there are large providers such as staffing companies and professional consulting firms, such as Programmed, who work with a ton of businesses that are currently looking for staff across a range of all different industries. And with organizations like this, they're often offering temporary, casual, and permanent jobs across the country. You can find these job postings on Indeed, up to date and ready for applications. If you're looking for something steadier, more long-term, or something that won't require you to venture outside, consider remote or work from home jobs. The share of job postings on Indeed that advertise remote or flexible working arrangements has been steadily rising for the past year, and that trend has continued in recent weeks. Now, Indeed is updating our platform so employers can add new labels in search results and on the job descriptions to make it easy for you to see whether a job is fully remote or remote temporarily due to COVID-19. Remote work opportunities span a wide range of industries, job roles, and experience levels. The best place to start is by identifying your top skills and to determine which opportunities align with those strengths. Be sure to think about your transferable skills, qualities that can be transferred from one job to another, easing your transition and helping you to be effective in your new job right away. For example, if you excel in communication, typing, organization, and feel comfortable with software like Office 365, G Suite, or Asana, then you might be well qualified for a job as a virtual assistant or project manager. If you have experience in customer-facing roles, especially answering questions, addressing concerns, taking feedback and resolving conflicts, then you may well be suited for work as a remote customer service representative. If you enjoy writing and researching and have a good command of grammar, then you might want to consider working as a freelance content editor or content writer. Next, whittle down your searches to only the most relevant positions. There are a few ways to search for remote jobs on Indeed. If you don't have a specific job title in mind, or you want the broadest possible results, then you can just put remote keywords in the what box, like remote, work at or from home, home-based, telecommute, and flexible work, and leave the where box empty. If you have a job in mind, then type the job title you want in the what box and use a remote keyword in the where box. Another option is to type the job title paired with a remote keyword in the what box and leave the where box blank, such as here, we're using remote project manager. As you search, don't forget to set up job alerts so that you're notified via email when new jobs that meet your criteria are posted to Indeed. Job alerts automate your job search and allow you to be among the first to see fresh job listings while reducing pressure on you to constantly be logging on and searching. You can change the frequency of your job alerts from daily to weekly by going to subscriptions.indeed.com or clicking email preferences from the top right drop-down menu on the Indeed homepage. Here, you can also pause or delete any job alerts that you've set up previously. Once you've found a few opportunities that you're interested in pursuing, then the next step is to update your resume. Focus on updating experience. Share how your work experience prepares you for the job you want by listing your transferable skills that we spoke of earlier. For example, if you worked as a restaurant server or retail associate and you're interested in remote customer service roles, highlight how aspects of your previous position apply to this new type of opportunity, like building rapport with customers and using empathy to solve problems. And keywords. Be sure to use keywords from the job posting within your resume. This will show you have a strong attention to detail and can be beneficial when employers use screening software. An example here, if the job posting says they're looking for someone who has expertise in specific software, and you do, then be sure to list that software amongst your proficiencies. And when we look at skills, be sure to include both your soft skills, which are personal habits and traits, as well as the hard skills, which are technical knowledge and training that you've gained through experience and education. For example, your soft skills might consist of problem solving and dependability, while your hard skills might include things like bilingual in English and French or proficient in CSS. Another option at the moment is gig work. Now, the gig economy is made up of independent workers who are paid by the task or project and typically take on multiple temporary jobs at one time. This is useful for anyone seeking to supplement or substitute full-time or part-time income, and most gig positions need people who can begin working immediately. There are a few ways that you can find gig work amid the pandemic. Reach out to people within your personal and professional networks for a virtual coffee date and ask if they have any leads on freelance opportunities that you can complete virtually. Another option is to sign up for online marketplaces or on-demand apps where you can pick up jobs as they come in. For example, grocery shopping apps and food delivery services such as Uber Eats and Deliveroo are experiencing surges in usage from those who are practicing social distancing or are immunocompromised and unable to leave home during the pandemic. Additionally, make sure to update your resume and online profile to show your ability to juggle multiple projects simultaneously, an important quality in a gig worker. Also, use this opportunity to share any freelance projects that you've completed. Consider what skills you have that would prepare you for certain gigs. For example, if you're highly organized and have good attention to detail, you might be a great grocery shopper or delivery worker. Also, consider how skills from gig jobs could be parlayed into different roles in the future. For example, communication skills developed as a rideshare app driver could benefit you as a remote call center representative. Because most gig work is highly flexible, it can be easy to lose your routine, which can negatively impact your motivation. Instead, try to keep a fixed schedule. Wake up at the same time every day, take regular breaks, and schedule multiple virtual coffee dates throughout the week with your contacts in case any other opportunities become available. Unfortunately, bad actors are taking advantage of the pandemic and the sudden uptick in job seekers looking for remote opportunities. It's essential you take every possible precaution to protect yourself against potential scams. There are a few things that you should always do when communicating with employers online. Be wary of those who want to conduct all communication only through a chat platform. This is a popular tactic used by scammers around the globe. Most employers will want to conduct interviews using services such as Google Hangouts, Zoom, Skype, or another video tool. Always confirm employee contact information as well. Look out for dodgy looking domains or spoof domains and non-corporate email addresses. For example, anything coming from us at Indeed won't look like indeed@gmail.com. Rather, it would be someone's name at indeed.com. And double check all the info that you can by visiting the company website. Employers will often request phone numbers and email addresses from applicants as well. But be wary of any company that starts asking you for other details such as your banking information or credit card number. Even if you know that the company is legitimate and they're asking for this information as part of a background check or to set up a payment, never send this information to them via email or chat. If you believe that you've been a victim of a scam, then flag the fraudulent activity using services on Indeed, such as Report a Job, Report a Message, our help center, or support form. While coronavirus is slowing down business for some employers, others are looking to grow their workforce. But to help curb the spread of the virus and abide by public health guidelines, many employers are shifting their hiring process. In many cases, this means conducting interviews virtually. If you've never completed a virtual interview before, then we have a few pointers for you. To ace your virtual interview and ensure you shine just as brightly as you would in person, you'll need to consider three important elements. One, the setting, such as your environment. Two, the appearance, both yours and your space. And thirdly, demeanor, including etiquette and behavior. So let's look at setting. When selecting a place to conduct your virtual interview, choose wisely. Ideally, you'll want to pick a space that's well lit, quiet, has a reliable internet connection, and is free from distractions. Before your interview, be sure to complete a technology test run to ensure your computer, camera, and microphone are all functioning correctly. And remember to switch your mobile phone to silent. If you're taking the interview call from home, be sure to secure pets in another room and ensure family members or roommates will not interrupt. Appearance. When selecting attire for your virtual interview, follow the same rules as you would for an in-person one. Take the time to research the company culture so that you know what's appropriate, but always err on the side of overdressed rather than underdressed. Choose plain colors rather than bold prints that might distort on the screen as well. And if you wear a tie, be sure it's solid rather than patterned. Adjust the lighting in the room so that your face is well lit, and ensure that your background is professional and clear of any clutter or messiness. If possible, opt for a space with a blank wall. And while it may be tempting to wear tracksuit pants or pajamas, always wear a full professional outfit, including your pants or a skirt, just in case you have to stand up for any reason at all. Just as when you're meeting with someone in person, it's essential that you use proper etiquette and body language. Maintain eye contact and give the interviewer your full and undivided attention. Try to maintain good posture and don't fidget or move around unnecessarily. And nod while listening. Use hand gestures when appropriate. Otherwise, if you're uncomfortable with using hand gestures, rest your hands in your lap. And keep a notebook and pen handy so that you can take notes if required. Now, sometimes technology will go awry and employers will likely understand this as well. If your audio stops functioning, you lose your internet connection, immediately contact the employer by phone or email to let them know and ask if you can complete the interview by phone or to reschedule. If a loud noise interrupts you or a family member or pet enters the room, then you can apologize, mute your microphone, quickly remedy the situation, and then continue when the coast is clear. So just to recap, here's a useful virtual interview checklist. Choose a quiet location for the call, remove any clutter from the background, ask others not to disturb you during the call, and silence computer and phone notifications. Do a dry run to test your camera, audio, and internet connectivity. Select professional attire, sit up straight, and maintain eye contact throughout the interview. With the uncertainty surrounding coronavirus, keep in mind that some employers may take longer to review and respond to applicants than usual. In the meantime, continue applying to job openings, regularly reevaluate your skills to identify other potential strengths, and tailor your resume and cover letter to each of the job openings you're applying for. Consult your personal and professional network as well to ask if they can refer you to any remote job openings. To prevent employees from getting sick and spreading the virus further, many employers have requested that their employees temporarily work from home. 36% of our survey respondents said that they can or may be able to work from home during this time. And while it has many benefits, working from home can also be a difficult adjustment. If you're not accustomed to working from home, you may find this new lifestyle rather challenging. But there are several things that you can do to mitigate distractions, to stay motivated, and be just as productive as you are in the office, if not more so. One of the best ways that you can set yourself up for success while working from home is by setting up a designated workspace. Even if you don't have a home office, You can create a workspace by setting up a temporary desk in a guest room or another low traffic area in your home. Even a kitchen nook can suffice, so long as you can avoid those distractions. Do make sure that the space is well lit and uncluttered in case you have to get onto a video call. When you work from home, the line between work and life can start to blur, and that's why it's crucial you need to adhere to a routine. It's a good practice to set specific hours for working and dedicate your time and attention to your work duties. Try avoiding household chores, which suddenly become so attractive to do, and avoid those prolonged personal conversations, just as you would in the workplace. And once your workday is complete, do your best to avoid checking your work emails or responding to work-related calls and messages. Make sure you do end up switching off at the end of the day. The stricter you are with your schedule, the better you'll adapt to your new working habits. When you're working from home, it's tempting to stay in pajamas all day. But remember, your routine and habits can affect your mindset. By showering, brushing your teeth, and dressing for the day, you'll feel more professional and prepared for the day ahead. And of course, it's okay to dress comfortably, but just try to avoid staying in those sleeping clothes all day long. And because you're home all day, your family and friends may assume that you're always available. That's why it's crucial that you set the expectation right away. Let people know your work hours and your availability for socializing. For example, if you're at home with your partner, let them know that you'll be available to talk with them during your lunch break. If you're working from home with small children, setting these boundaries can be much more challenging. Consider setting up a schedule with your partner or another family member where you'll take turns caring for the children. Work with your employer to find the best solution as well. For example, you may need to split your workday into 2 4-hour shifts, one very early in the morning, one later in the evening, with childcare duties in between. It's easy to become consumed with your work when you don't have the same natural breaks in your day, like your commute to the office or the workplace, lunch outings with co-workers, or social chats before meetings. However, it's still critical that you make time to step away from your work. You'll be amazed at how much better you feel after eating a snack, going outside for some fresh air, whether it be on a balcony or by continuing to practice social distancing outside, or rolling out your yoga mat for some midday stretching in your living room. After taking a break, you'll feel rejuvenated and much more focused on the day's remaining tasks. So many changes at once, plus the uncertainty of our current circumstances, can be difficult to manage. But people and businesses are already finding many new and unique ways to adapt. And remember, we are all in this together. We know you have a lot of questions, and we have collected some of those. So I'll go through some of the frequently asked ones now. So first, if your career isn't something you can do remotely, you may be wondering if a virtual position is even possible for you. The answer is yes. Often you can get a position working in data entry or perhaps audio transcription, even if you don't have the experience. Additionally, you may not need experience to complete tasks for many of the gig economy apps that I spoke of earlier. But keep in mind that some of those companies will have their own requirements, such as knowing how to drive, having a license, or if you're delivering items by car, for example. Another question is, what should I do if I haven't heard back from a prospective employer? And it's important here to try to be as patient as possible. While it can be frustrating or disheartening when you don't hear back about a job you've applied to, remember that many employers are also navigating around this pandemic. In the meantime, continue optimizing your resume, applying to jobs, and accepting interviews for other opportunities. Do your best to stay resilient and to stay positive. Many people are struggling to focus and remain productive while at home with loved ones. And while schools closed and traditional childcare options unavailable, this can get rather tricky. Do your best to set boundaries and create work hours during which your loved ones know that you can't be interrupted. Consider discussing your situation with your employer and work together to find that schedule or arrangement that meets both of your needs. And don't forget that we're here to help. Our resource page at the URL listed on the screen has a range of information about navigating the job search during COVID-19. So that's all for today. For the latest information from Indeed, follow us on social media as we'll continue to share relevant updates there. Thank you for tuning in and have a good day.